Welcome all you Plus 2 comedy modifiers to another episode of the Plus 2 Comedy Podcast. And before we get to our fantastic episode with the returning James Howley, I have to tell you about some upcoming shows. We're heading back down to Baltimore, Maryland for JohnCon at Johns Hopkins Universities. So please come see us. We'll be debuting a brand new panel that just got added to the schedule. We'll be doing our brand new Nerd Fitness panel. I don't even know what it is yet, but we're working on it. It's going to be nerdy and it's going to be fitness, and it'll be fun. So come see us at JohnCon. It's pay what you will. It's a great time, and there's no Otakon in Baltimore anymore. So go to JohnCon. It's a great time. We'll play board games. It'll be great. We're also happy to be returning to ZenkaiCon. We'll be at ZenkaiCon doing stand-up comedy along with doing Game the Gamer, and we will be there May 4th through the 6th. 4th through the 6th, yes. For more information, go to zenkaicon.com. It's in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and it's always a great time. Just go. Just go to ZenkaiCon. If you've never been, it's great. Go. It's awesome. Also, I'm happy to announce, we have not announced this one yet, we are returning to Wizard World Philadelphia. Yes, come see us at Wizard World Philadelphia. That's going to be starting on Thursday. That's May 17th. I'm looking at dates if you can't tell. The 17th. It's through the 20th. We won't be there the 20th. But come see us between the 17th and the 19th at Wizard World. We'll be doing stand-up comedy and a bunch of other fun stuff. So please come see us at Wizard World Philadelphia in the Philadelphia Convention Center. Why won't we be there the 20th? Well, because we're going to be heading on over to Castle Point Anime Convention. Yes, come see us at the Castle Point Anime Convention. It just moved locations and I'll have it in front of me. But find out where it is. Come see us. Cosplay Pro Wrestling will be there along with some Plus 2 comedy. So come see us there. We're really busy and tired. So be sure to see us and give us a Red Bull. I like mine with no calories. So keep us going. And now, without any further ado, take it away.
Who's ready for a podcast?
Not even us.
Nobody. Nobody is ready. I don't know where people are. It's, yeah. No one's being annoyed. Everyone's just confused. Welcome to the Plus 2 Comedy Podcast. I'm your host, as always, TV's Noah Houlihan. Come to you live from Gamers Vault. That's 175 Route 70 in Medford, New Jersey. I'm your host, as always, Noah Houlihan. And I'm joined, unusually, by the third member of Plus 2 Comedy, Miss Laura Prince. How you doing, Laura?
Hi, I'm good.
Thank you for jumping in randomly. I still expect you to do research if need be.
All right. My phone is over in the
right.
book bag.
So be it. No, you leave that there.
It's probably on top.
Our guest this week is a stand-up comedian is a sit-down comedian.
Yep, get it right.
And also the host of the new YouTube show, I'm Just James.
Yes.
James Howley's here, everybody.
Hello.
Everyone is specifically the internet this time. Usually there's more live
this
bodies.
This show has upgraded so much since the last time I did this. I'm very impressed.
Yes. Well, we sacrificed the people that used to come and see this in order to
To be fair,
upgrade.
my possessions take up enough chairs that it kind of looks
Yeah,
like the
it
audience
does.
all went to the bathroom.
They all went to the bathroom
and
at
just
once.
all of my things.
So, James, I'm happy to have you back on the show.
It's happy to be here again.
Because you went away from comedy for a little bit, and then you kind of came back from it.
No real good reason other than just life.
I mean, I think that happens to all comics.
Yeah.
That they just need a break. And let me ask you this. Was it one of those things where you didn't even realize you were on a break until all of a sudden one day you were like, I haven't done comedy in months?
No, I knew that I was on a break. I just never knew when I was going to come back because I was gone for so long. I was just kind of like, I'll be back eventually.
That's when you call it a sabbatical.
A sabbatical.
Like, then it sounds intentional.
Yeah. Well, I feel like that sounds a lot more serious.
A sabbatical?
Whenever I hear sabbatical, I feel like that's like a disease. I'm just like, oh, you got the sabbatical? I'm so sorry. Like,
I work at a school. Sabbatical is like something you try for.
Yeah.
Like,
something
you dream of every 7 years taking a year off to go on sabbatical.
Yeah, to write a book or something fancy.
Write a book.
Fancy. That's a lot of the reasons professors go on sabbatical. It's to write books. Because if you don't publish, you lose your job.
That sounds pretty awesome. Like,
yeah.
I applied for a position where I can work at home, and haven't heard back yet. But I'm just like, if I can get this would be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have no reason. Like, it's only partially, but like, if I can work from home one day a week, like, that's enough for me. That means I get 3 weekends. I don't have to wake up early, one day out of the week extra.
I work from home like 2 days a year, and they're the best 2 days of my life.
Yeah. Well, I'm lucky in my job. We did a lot of PTO, so yeah.
I work from home.
Yeah.
Always.
You just rub it in.
And let me tell you, it's a 2-minute walk from bed to work, and sometimes it's like I'm running late today, guys.
2-minute walk. That'd be the longest walk of my life. I'm still surprised you don't see these coming. Like, we've known each other so long.
I know. And, like, we're going to go down this road that we go down every time we talk.
Yeah.
And it's my phobia of
Right.
the handicap.
Yeah. Right.
I'm going to take a drink out of my... I can't believe it's not orange juice every time Noah gets uncomfortable.
That's going to be gone very quickly.
Luckily, the bathrooms are right there.
Yeah, I'll have to army crawl into the table.
These are more accessible than the bathrooms at High Note.
Yeah, I'd imagine.
Yeah, the bathrooms that are off the steps or crammed in that little space.
The bathroom up the steps at our open mic, you didn't see this because they were up the steps.
No, I've been there. I've went around.
No.
This week in particular, were bolted shut with a sign that said, "Danger, use other bathroom." I was like, that's weird.
Danger.
There is a story there, and I don't want to know it.
Oh, I super want to know what happened there.
I've asked Ramon about why they haven't had a bartender, and it's just kind of like, they don't want to give us one. And I was like,
correct.
Do you think if I complained and I guilted them about me being a loyal patron and
this is a great idea.
Jesse's shaking his head no.
Producer Jesse, don't know. I love using.
I wanted to ask
if
Noah
we
first.
can get it. If it works at Disney,
right?
I'm pretty sure it would work.
But I wouldn't do it in a
room.
rude way, like F you guys. I can't curse, right?
No swearing.
Okay, so I would be like F you guys. I would be like, I've come to this mic for 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
This has never been a problem until I've recently come back. Like, I would say this as a threat to them, not to you guys. I would be like, I don't want to keep coming here if you guys aren't going to give us a bartender. You guys are discriminating against your handicapped patrons. They want to view this mic. Like, I would say it like that. But I wouldn't do it, obviously, without your permission.
Yes, because I also like my show, and I don't want them to.
Producer Jesse is just like, no.
Please don't.
Ramon was just trying to like, whatever you want to do, and then.
That sounds like a Ramon answer.
Yeah.
But let's talk about people who are here, because so we don't completely lose the audience. But I have a fear of handicapped people, just because I always feel like I'm in the wrong whenever I'm around one, that I'm going to do something dumb.
I think that's why I value our friendship, because I can see the guilt in your eyes when I made certain jokes, and I'm just like, this is so awesome.
You know people who are afraid of heights,
yeah.
When they get close to an edge, they're like, what if I just can't stop myself from jumping?
Right.
My thought is like, I'm going to say cripple in front of James. I'm going to say it, and it's going to be bad.
Guess what you just said.
I know, but it was in context of an example.
And I'm sure you've said it on stage before, and then you probably did off stage, and you just look down, don't make eye contact, and I would probably intentionally be like, funny joke, man.
I don't think I used the word cripple in my set.
I mean, everybody else does. So.
I do a joke. I used to do it until another comedian does a way better version of this joke, where I talk about a one-legged wrestler.
Okay.
And I make fun of the guy who lost to the one-legged wrestler.
Right.
Because he says something like, if he's such a great wrestler, why doesn't he do UFC?
Right.
It's like, yeah, he should do something unrelated, crazy person. And I did that joke in front of a man with one leg once. And it was like, I had made a mental note that he was there.
Yeah.
And then I was in a situation.
Still gonna do this.
No, I was in a situation where I literally had to fill so much time that I was doing every joke I'd ever written. And I got halfway through it, and I saw my friend Neil Carroll, eyes go wide, no.
So I remember probably a few years ago, I used to do this joke about, I forgot the whole joke, but the idea was about, I was comparing, I think, my disability to somebody who's much more disabled than me that would be in an electric wheelchair, their head tilted back on a headrest, and eating through a straw.
Yeah, rest in peace, Stephen Hawking.
Not him. That would have, never mind. But there was somebody like that in the crowd that night. And I remember polling the other comedians, Jeremy was there at the time, I I forget who else. I think probably you. And like half of them were like, no, and the other half was like, yeah, if you're gonna do it, you gotta do it in front of anybody.
Yeah.
And I did it, and it was.
And that feels like a Saturday Night Live sketch of like.
Maybe it can be a sketch on my YouTube channel.
There you go.
Like,
there you go.
I need to find somebody who fits that.
The guilt and how like the guilt just slides.
Yeah. I don't know how I would cast that person or get those types of.
I regularly sometimes entrap, particularly Noah and Will, into saying like slightly misogynist things, and then I turn on them real quick. So that might be where the guilt and fear comes from for Noah. Because he'll say something, and I'll be like, "What do you mean by that?"
I don't feel like that's something that you just do like specifically. I just feel like that would be what a lot of people do that are in relationships, even though I have no personal experience with that. I'm just saying maybe that's how a lot of things happen in relationships.
I mean, you shouldn't trap people, but it's fun.
It is fun. I do a very similar joke about bullying.
There's a lot of things that people shouldn't do, such as
yes, these fun things.
These fun things, such as something that happened to me a few hours ago that I just.
Oh yeah, what
happened to you a few hours ago? Here.
I was concerned that I might not be able to leave my place of employment because for those of you who are not handicapped but have noticed handicapped parking spots, most handicapped parking spots have the spot with the blue lines, and then next to that spot there's an extra space with
I'm being a visual aid.
Yeah,
for
with
your,
the lines crossed.
We have
out.
Cameras now.
I was like, am I not doing it right?
No,
so there's a spot
marks.
with the box with the lines crossed out. So, like, for those of you who don't know how to park or don't know how to drive, that means you're not supposed to park there.
Yes.
So, I left my job today about, what time is it now? About 4 hours ago. And, 4 hours ago is when I got off. And somebody was parked in one of those spots. And the way that my car works, my van, the back door of the Honda Odyssey, I have a video about this on Just James, just check it out. The ramp comes down, and if somebody's parked right next to it, obviously I can't get into the car.
Yes.
So
you could destroy their car with the ramp.
Should have. A lot of people have suggested that I do that, including some people at this nice establishment.
Don't do that, but it's fun.
But it's fun.
I am not condoning the destruction of other people's properties, but if they park in a handicap spot where you can't get into your handicapped accessible vehicle, maybe.
They do that. I totally am condoning it.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, a lot of people are today, based on my social media. But yeah, so they parked there, and I was luckily able to just find some kind fellow in the parking lot that was helping another handicapped person. The place that I work for is very handicap friendly.
That's good. That's good.
And he helped me by moving my car out and getting me in. And my company, I don't want to say they didn't do anything, but like I didn't know if they did anything.
Yeah.
I was just so mad. Like I circled that parking lot for
just waiting for that person.
I was circling that parking lot to see if anything was going to be done for too long, like 2 hours. It took me an hour to like even report it properly at work, and then I just like circled the area. Like I got food, I went home, I went back. Like 2 hours. Just
Wait,
in my
you
car.
went back?
Well, so where I live is right down the street from where I work.
Okay, so it was on the way.
Yeah, it was on the way. Yeah, it was on the way to here. So as I was going down the street that was leading back to my job, I saw a cop going down there, and I was like, I think that cop is the person that's going to check it out.
They're going to dismantle that car.
The top? I don't think the top would dismantle the... well, anyway. So
yes, James.
So I tried to flight it down, like, the top down, because, like, why else would the top go there?
You there, police!
God, can I watch you give this car a ticket?
No, like, because the company that I work for is a big company. I'm not naming it, obviously, so I don't want them to see this. And, it's a big company, and the parking lot is very big, and, you know, there might be multiple. So I wanted to show them where the car was, and, like, the top was... I was sitting behind the top, and, like, it was going very slow, like, circling everything, and I was, like, flashing my lights at them, and they weren't, like, seeing me, and then I didn't want to beep at the top, but I thought that would have been...
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah, but eventually she noticed.
That's 1 star in Grand Theft Auto,
yeah.
So don't do that.
Is it? Okay.
Yes, it is.
I need to, yeah. So eventually she noticed that I was trying to get her attention, and she was attractive. I know this has nothing to do with the point of the story, but she eventually saw the I eventually led her to the car, and she looked at it and was like, "Yeah, they're getting a ticket." I was like, "Nice.
Yay!
If they're still here later, they're gonna get towed. Good.
Yay.
I might pass to see.
Justice is served.
Yeah, I might go back on the way home to see if it's.
Minor justice.
Yeah.
If it's still there, covered in tickets.
Oh, I'd be so happy. That would. And then if I find out who this person is, like at work, I'm gonna be like,
It's the person who happens to have the
Oh,
cubicle
God.
next to you.
It's like Debbie from HR. It's like everybody has a Debbie from HR who's like the worst.
see,
Toby.
we like at my job, the company is so big, we don't know who important people are.
Oh,
Like,
really?
Yeah, because we have to do everything via email, so we like a lot of things don't happen face to face, especially on like what type of job that you do. Like certain departments, you just have meetings like over the phone, and I'm just like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah. I say that I don't think I could pick out anybody who works at my job in HR. Like I don't think I could pick them out of a lineup.
I have no idea who.
They're in another building. Like 'cause
Right.
I work on a campus, so it's so many buildings that like they're in the over there building.
Right.
We don't
The
go
over
to the
there.
over there building.
Right.
It's kind of off campus.
Right.
I have to cross a street. No,
No, not worth
Yeah.
it. Not worth it
not
at all.
worth it. No, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, I had to go up an elevator, down an elevator, down to the middle of this big building, back to the other side of the building, up another elevator. Like there was a lot of physical activity that had to be done to report this.
All right,
and-
based
Yeah,
on that, you
that's
work in
a lot
Willy
of
Wonka's
action.
chocolate factory. Because I'm just
Oh.
picturing like sideways elevators.
One time the elevator broke. It didn't work when I came in for my shift because there was a power outage, and I was like, I guess I can't work.
Yeah, I guess you
Yes.
go home.
Yeah, and they paid me because it's not
It's
my
technically
fault.
their fault. Yeah.
And then they asked me if I wanted to come back, and I felt like it was bad if I said no. And then I got there, and I asked my boss, I was like, should I have said no? And he was like, now that you're here, yeah, you should have said no. I'm like,
Damn.
damn.
What-
I wish I said
What
no.
do you do in the event of fire, James?
Pray.
All right.
Yeah, pretty much. So the plan, the evacuation plan, I'm talking way too much about my job right now. The evacuation plan is, it's literally go by the elevators and wait to be rescued. Like no, the steps. It's like wait there. The
Go
fire
by the
department
steps
will come.
and give puppy eyes until someone helps you.
Pretty much, it's like go there, wait for. So one time there was a fire. There was like smoke that happened. Luckily, I wasn't there that day.
oh my
Oh,
god.
God.
And my coworker told me about it, and I was like, "Thank God I didn't call
Yeah.
to work today because was not prepared to risk my life."
This is
Yeah.
not the day I die.
Pretty
rough.
much.
Oh my god.
And then I talked to one of the handicap person that I was just describing. I should say his name, but I don't. Never mind. So, anyway, he had to be
Okay.
rescued, and they took the chance of going down the elevator while there was an active fire alarm going on. But
Right.
The elevators weren't supposed to work. They did work, luckily. He survived, and yeah. Luckily, it wasn't a real fire. It was like smoke and stuff. But
Right.
I was like in that moment.
Yeah.
If I was there,
Like I
would've
feel
been
like I would take the risk on the elevator.
Oh yeah, totes.
But then if it just stops working, that
Mm.
is the worst situation.
I would be like, I need like a permanent sabbatical now. Like,
Yeah.
I-
I'm gonna
I'm
need
a-
some time.
I
just
need to write a book.
Yeah.
so I'm horrible because I'm kind of hoping that happens, so I can have an excuse to not work the rest of the day. Like now, I go up the elevator and it like shakes all the time.
No.
And me and the other
Today's
handicap
the
person.
day.
Yeah, we were talking about it
Uh.
when I was going down the elevator to see my car being blocked in, and yeah, he was talking about how he's freaked out, and I was just like, yeah, I'm with you there, man. It's not like if this stops, we can take.
Tower of
stairs.
Terror is my favorite ride, but I feel like if I was in like a position where like the elevator was something I needed,
Right.
I don't think I'd like Tower of Terror as much
Yeah,
anymore.
yeah.
But I'm playing the home game.
Yeah, when it's your life.
Right. Yeah. Got real. No.
It's real terror.
When video games.
When Tower of Terror gets real.
But I
There's
really
demand for prizes on the chat.
Yes, I don't know why. But I enjoy your YouTube channel
Oh,
because
thank
it's
you.
an inside look at your life,
Mhm.
and like it showed how you drive a car and things like
Right.
that. Could I drive your car?
Yes. So the way that I did it. So in the video that we're talking about, it's kind of a parody because one of my friends, Alan Pickett, narrated it, and he said he wanted to narrate it like a National Geographic documentary.
Right,
And I was like, oh, that's pretty funny. And everybody that and my friends that don't know Alan are like, that was really funny. I was like, yeah, he's funny. And what people don't know is the person who actually helped me today got in my car and was like, "Oh, this is gonna be fun." I was like, "No, you can drive it normal. You see that? There's a guard that protects the gas pedal in case I did a muscle. This has never happened, but in case I did a muscle spasm, if that wasn't there, it should just like hit it and accelerate like out of nowhere. So you just take that off and then you just drive it like normal.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've been in the car with Noah. Don't let Noah drive your car.
I
just want to drive his car.
I don't let anybody drive it like long distances unless I'm. Well, I don't let anyone drive it long distances ever. But the only time I ever let somebody else drive my car is if we're going a short distance and I don't feel like transferring into the seat. Right. It's a process. Or if, like today where I get trapped.
If you get trapped, yeah. If you get sealed out of your car.
Or when necessity demands it.
Right, when necessity demands it, an emergency occurs, which is not very often.
You mentioned the muscle spasms. We haven't talked about you doing comedy much, but you do comedy at the Tap Room every now and then. And I remember...
Less than I want to, yes.
Yeah. I remember distinctly you doing a set with your legs shaking.
Oh, did
I? And I remember the room being like,
He's faking it.
What's happening?
He's faking it. my friends, my one friend says that all the time. He was like, "I saw his leg move. He's faking it."
I thought a miracle was happening.
I should have. It
was just like, I'm fine.
If I thought of that in the moment, I would have been like, "Oh my god, guys, you're looking to see a miracle.
It's going down."
Oh my god, I feel like I'm not almost. Nah, it's fine. No, this happens occasionally.
Nah, it ended.
The muscle spasm basically just occurs if my legs are in a position like for a long period of time, and then I move.
Yeah,
and then it's just kind of like waking up. I just like, ooh. I'm sure there's a medical reason out there that describes it better than my description. But yeah.
But why did you decide to start this YouTube channel?
So, there's a variety. So I did a joke about it.
Okay.
I don't know if I should just do the joke, but
you're more than welcome to.
The joke is pretty much the best explanation of why I did it.
Okay.
Because as I've discussed before, I have a personal assistant. They're technically called home health aides, but I like to call them personal assistants because it makes me sound more important.
Oh,
like
yeah.
I have money.
100%.
Yeah, but if I say like I have an aide, that it's like you have AIDS. No, I have a home health aide. It's like, oh, you're really handicapped. No, I don't want you to think that. So I like to call her a personal assistant, and she's younger than me, and she's relatively new, working with me, and she's learning about my condition and stuff like that. And at one point, she was like, I don't understand why you can't have sex. And I'm like, well, I don't have feeling in my...
Yes. Lower half.
Pretty self-explanatory to me. And she was just like, I don't know, maybe if I just saw a YouTube video about it, it would make sense to me.
This sounds like the setup of an adult film.
Yeah, it does.
I'm sorry.
Could we film something?
It's what a lot of my friends have said. They were like, oh, she really wants you. I was just like, she already has kids.
Well, that doesn't mean anything.
It means a lot to me. Like, even if I could do it,
yeah, but the argument is that she wanted you.
I don't think that was true. Anyway, so
I think it's true. Up here, it's true.
I mean, we should believe
Headcanon.
that. That's the most that it's ever done or no. Is just we're going to be thinking about it up here. She's never going to see this. Hopefully. I mean, if she does, then awesome, because we get another viewer. But if she does, then it's going to be like, thanks for working with me. I guess you won't be anymore. So she said, like, maybe if I just saw a YouTube video about it, I'll understand more, knowing that I would then look it up. So I did. And she was like, what are you doing? I was like, I'm looking up what you just said. And she was like, what are you looking up? She's like, what you just said. And she's like, no, what are you? I'm like, wheelchair, Asian, fat. Like, what are you looking for? She's like,
what are you? Is a weird question.
She's like, no, what's your disability? I was like, I have a spinal cord injury. She's like, look that up. So I did. And the first thing that came up on YouTube was a person's channel, a handicapped person's channel called Handicapped Living. And as I watch not watch all of them, but as I looked at his videos on his channel, I realized that he's living handicapped way better than me because he's doing all the things that I do every day, but just way better than me. Like, one of his videos is him driving a car. Like, I drive, as we discussed, that I drive a Honda. He drives an Audi.
Oh, okay.
Like, One is him going to the bathroom, I can go to the bathroom. He uses the toilet. I'd go in the bed, that's how he's
Gotcha.
he's living handicap better than me. And then
He's showing off.
he is showing off, and then he's at 11. He had over 11,000 subscribers,
Oh wow.
and one of his videos was a tutorial on how he opens doors. He had 40,000 views on how he opens a door. And it wasn't funny. It was literally just explaining how he opens a door. And I'm just people don't think that we just figure this out. Really? 40,000 people are really that curious? How do handicapped people open doors?
I think that's a really interesting thing with YouTube, though, is there's that way of demystifying.
Right.
Of you can kind of actually get into another person's human experience in a way that you've never been able to do before.
Right.
Yeah. You can also have a thought and immediately get an answer. Because recently I was like, what was inside Stretch Armstrong? And there are tons of videos of people cutting open Stretch Armstrong.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's just I wonder, something like a door handle, it's at your fingertips.
You're talking about improving your life. I'm talking about the demystification of the human experience. And Noah's what's inside Stretch Armstrong?
It's like a corn syrup.
But what's great is
it's like a goo, and it makes them all stretchy.
You called me a millennial in the pre-show
Because you're always on your phone.
I was not always on my phone. It's not my fault that I had people calling me.
It's so popular.
And you're just jealous, I guess.
I am.
Noah totally does ignore his mom.
Yeah, we went over that. Yeah, sorry that I love my mom occasionally. That's messed up.
Only sometimes, though.
It depends on what type of mood she is. If she curses me out,
The wording in here is phrasing, James.
If
Phrasing.
I do it intentionally. That's the way that I talk. What was I originally going to talk about? Now I forgot.
You're talking about opening doors and how.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and being a millennial.
Millennial. Oh yeah, the millennial part. Yeah, about technology today. You can basically just find anything by just googling it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me and my friends are going out to dinner tomorrow night, and he was like, "I'm going to this place that has zingers," and he's older than me. And I just literally looked up chicken zingers, and I was like, Miller's, and he was like, "Yeah, did you just find?" I was like, "Yeah, I just googled it."
Yeah.
And he's calling his wife.
I was in a sauna recently, and phones don't work real well in there. And we were talking about how we were all not on our phones, and we were talking about how there was a time where we just didn't know stuff. You'd hear a song on the radio and be like, "Well, I didn't catch what that was called. I may never hear this again."
So how old are you?
How old am I?
Yeah.
I'd rather not say.
You asked me earlier. I told you. Totally fair. Or are you over?
Yeah.
Are you over 30?
Yeah, I'm 32.
Oh, well, now you just gave it away. You could have just said yes, and then I would have made my point anyway. But thanks for saying it to the world now. I think
you world.
I think technically, me and one of my older friends who's 34 was saying how technically you're still considered a millennial if you're that old.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. I like saying "damn millennial" because I hear it a lot.
So you like sounding old.
Yeah, because I think it's a dumb thing to say.
Okay, so you do it ironically. Ironically, is that right? Or
Facetiously?
Facetiously. Okay, that's
Yes.
That's a better
Oh,
word.
see, I always get mad, and I just start railing on why the baby boomers destroyed America.
The baby. I just hate everybody
Uh,
that was born before.
Nah, Gen X
or
was
after.
fine. They just didn't do anything.
As I again make this about myself, another bit I like to do whenever I'm about to play a sport, I always say, I'm the best at this.
Yeah.
And I say that as a joke because I used
Play
to be
sports?
No, exactly. I
Okay.
used to just be like a fat nerd.
Mm.
But I've recently gotten into shape,
Yeah.
and now that's like,
How recently? You've always been this size since I've known you.
thanks.
No.
You don't get to see what's under here.
Oh,
Under here
oh.
has improved greatly.
Oh, okay. Well, I hope I never.
Because I was at Jakara and I was changing, and I jokingly said, "Hey, I didn't mean to change next year. Oh, I didn't want you to feel small." And I was clearly kidding.
Right.
But this guy kind of gave me like a.
So.
And I was like, "It's because I'm in terrible shape." Oh, I'm not in terrible shape.
So one of my coworkers was talking about a time where she was trying to be sarcastic with one of her customers back when she used to work at hot dog joint or something in Florida, and she was saying how they had a deal. I'm telling her story because it was funny.
Okay.
She was saying how there was a deal to get a hot dog, a bag of chips, and a drink, but it said chip, for what the price was, and this old guy came up to her and was like. So it's only one chip. And sarcastically, she said, "Yeah, you have to go over to the bag, open it up, take one chip out, and that's part of your combo." And he complains, complained to the management, and they went back to her. And like just said it like this person complained like it was a joke and like it was like they didn't even take it seriously. And I was like, that's hilarious.
I used to
amazing.
work retail,
Yeah.
and I would just retail can be really long, really boring shifts. So
Right.
I would just start putting on different accents
Oh.
and
Oh,
just
hurrah!
every new customer. I never did anything racist.
This is the only accent I can do.
Oh, you're gonna say it's racist 'cause I did an Irish accent.
Every time that you did the Iron
Oh
Comic,
my god.
and I would follow you, I would be like, I do the Asian accent much better. I should be hosting at least that part.
When I do an Asian accent, I'm doing an impersonation of the Iron Chef, who happens to be Asian.
You say
But
you do
sound like
intentionally
Werewolf Hirohito from FDR American Badass.
Yes.
You
yes.
say you intentionally do it very racist.
I do say those words. I do say those words every single time I do it.
I was only called out once for repeating an accent, like 2 different accents with the same customer.
Right.
Where I was like, "Ah, good morning. Is there anything I can help you with today?" And she's like, "Weren't you Southern 20 minutes ago?" And I was like, "I'm from the southern part of Ireland, honey."
If I ever was called
Sorry.
out for making a handicap joke or doing an Asian accent, I can't really criticize that much. I am half Asian and I am clearly handicapped. So
Yes.
how are you gonna criticize me for making fun of myself?
Yeah. That's true. I get
No, I
that.
didn't say your accent. It would have been racist if I had done that accent.
Yes.
True. Like how Noah does on.
Like I do.
Once a month, is it?
Yes. Next week, Iron Comic.
Ooh, I am making sure
Tamborine
that I am
Bar
going.
and Grill.
If I felt as good as I felt now, I would have been there last night. But I'm making sure I'm coming next week now.
Yeah, Rusty Red will be competing. In any
I
case,
like Rusty.
we like to geek out on this show, and we do it with a segment called What You Watching, What You Reading, What You Playing. So we talk about
Oh.
what we're watching, what we're reading, what we're playing. James, welcome back to the group. What have you been watching?
So I started to rewatch Entourage on
Why?
Amazon Prime. What do you mean why? Because I enjoyed it. It was a fun show when it was on back in the day.
Big fan of Turtle.
So one of my friends.
End of things I know about Entourage.
Johnny Drama, hug it out.
Yeah.
None
Well,
of
Ari
these
said
words
hug
mean
it out.
anything.
It was Ari.
No, that was just a list of things I knew.
Oh, okay, my fault. One of my friends, I asked him if he watched Entourage because he's a manager and he wears a suit all the time, and I was like, I'm gonna start calling you Suit because that's what they called one of the characters in the show. And I was like, so who do you think I remind you most of, and who do you remind yourself most of? And he was like, I think I'm E, which is the person that is the suit. I was like, perfect so far. And I was like, who do you think I remind you of? He's like, Turtle. I'm like, damn it,
Oh.
like
Nobody wants to be Turtle.
he was like, Turtle's the best. He
No, his name is Turtle.
yeah,
Yeah.
I was like, nah, just because I'm chubby and I have the same skin complexion, that's not cool.
Turtle's much cooler in Breaking Bad. Yeah, I never got into
He
Entourage.
was in
It's-
Breaking Bad?
No, there was a character named Turtle. It was who's the really famous? Who's Machete?
Danny Trejo.
Danny Trejo plays
Oh,
him.
okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
so I got into, I remember.
Might be Tortoise.
I think it wasn't Turtle. I think it was some other type of,
Or what's the Spanish word for turtle?
Tortuga.
Tortuga. That's what it was. It was Tortuga.
okay.
Thank you, research department.
Yeah, I actually just
you
knew that.
jumped right on it.
I didn't even have to do research.
Can I say you and
Can I sing you an offensive joke?
Oh.
You could go ahead and put it in the chat. I have discretion on whether I will say it out loud
All I said,
or
all
sing it.
All I saw was offensive joke, and I was just like, "Will
So, have you seen Entourage before?
Oh,
And
yeah.
you're just going through it
Yeah, he said
again?
he was rewatching it.
I was rewatching it. Yeah, so I did into shows after they've already been popular for a really long time.
Yeah.
That's the best way to do it.
Yeah, because then I can just watch, binge it basically. So I got into Entourage the second to last season, and then I stopped having HBO, but now I have Amazon Prime, so it's free, and I'm just like, I am watching this from the beginning again. And I bought the movie, and I'm just like, yes.
I don't get it, but I know the people that like Entourage love it. Because I had a friend of mine who's like, yeah, I went and saw... There was a sequel to Entourage, right? There was
There's a
Entourage?
movie.
Was there a second movie?
No.
Or was that just in Kimmy Schmidt?
That was in Kimmy Schmidt.
He
It was a joke.
He said he was so excited to go see the movie that he was like, I need to watch the last episode of Entourage to like catch up.
Good
and he said he
episode.
watched the entire series backwards because he was like, well, let me see what happened before that. And then he ended up watching the entire series backwards, and then he watched it all again forwards, and then he watched it all again, and then he saw the movie. I was like, wow.
Well,
I'm not
that movie is not that good.
I would never watch it backwards, but I would just watch it from the start to the beginning over and over again. Like, so my friend that I went to see the movie with when it came out in theaters, I didn't know at the time anybody else who watched the show, and he just went with me because he thinks Ronda Rousey is hot.
Okay.
And she was in the movie.
Oh yeah, she was in that.
She beat somebody up.
Turtle.
Yep. That's Turtle.
Yeah.
Found him.
Now that's what should be happening at WrestleMania.
No.
The Ronda Rousey Turtle rematch.
Ugh.
I don't think anybody was.
They were on WWE
Yeah,
once, right?
Jeremy Piven was. He called it the wrong thing.
Yeah, but I also think the cast of Entourage showed up and they hung out with Zack Ryder.
Yeah, they did.
All right.
Because I was excited until they had that segment.
Don't remember math.
This is a waste of. I mean, they wouldn't have cared regardless of what they did, like the WWE universe. But the fact that they did it that way, I was just like, this is stupid.
There were a couple of really good guest hosts. I, for one, was deeply passionate about the episode where the Muppets showed up.
That was good.
Yeah.
Some good stuff.
I think one of the best was Bob Barker.
Bob Barker was the best.
Yeah.
I also loved Ashton Kutcher because he was not there. It was all pre-recorded stuff.
Well, didn't he appear one time with Danny Masterson to promote whatever he was doing?
That 70s show?
No, The Ranch.
The Ranch, right.
Oh, yeah.
The Ranch.
Danny Masterson's a non-person now?
Yes, because I don't know why I know this stuff. Ashton Kutcher's wrestling alter ego is the farmhand. Why do I know this?
Danny Masterson is gone now.
I just assume that you should know these things.
Yeah.
You're a much bigger wrestling fan than me.
My dream for the longest time, or the 2 years that it aired, was to be the WWE geek on Beat the Geeks when that game show existed for a short time on Comedy Central. It would have been great. Hit me up. 1999. Laura, what have you been watching?
So, I, fell down a hole and, started to rewatch Frasier.
Ooh.
And there's nothing that makes you feel older or whiter than rewatching Frasier.
Yeah.
Nothing at all?
No.
Like there's got to be more white
She was eating a mayonnaise sandwich.
No, there's things that will make you feel older, but nothing will make you feel whiter. When you're like, I'm going to have my cognac.
I feel like that, what is it? The Downton, I'm going to say it wrong.
Downton Abbey?
Downton Abbey.
That's pretty white.
I feel like that's pretty white.
That's pretty white.
It's really white.
Yeah, see?
I guess nothing
Look
makes
how
you feel
quickly
more
I debunked her theory.
More like white American, I guess.
White American, right. I feel like if we thought about this
but
longer,
it's pretty good. Frasier kind of holds up. Kelsey Grammer's hairstyle doesn't, but the rest of it holds up.
I'll take your word for it. I know it's on Netflix.
That's where I was watching it.
Yeah, you can watch. Was it 9 seasons?
Yeah, there's I think 11.
11 seasons. Wow.
Yeah, 93 to 04.
Crazy.
What have you been watching, Houlihan?
What have I been watching? I've been watching the Joel McHale show with Joel McHale. He made the return.
Is that who's on it?
Yeah, it's Joel McHale.
I would have never known.
Yeah, it's the soup with swearing.
Oh.
Yeah, and it's real awkward when he swears because I'm so not used to him cursing.
Do you think he's funny?
I like Joel McHale.
Really?
I actually spent an evening with Joel McHale, and that's what they call it when they give an actor a stand-up show.
Right.
But he doesn't do stand-up.
Yeah, they call it an evening
with Joel McHale.
Right. Because it covers the fact that he doesn't have actual jokes, that he's just telling stories.
Like the Jim Jefferies show.
Yeah, this was a tour.
Well.
So he was at Helium, just
yeah, I
you
saw
showed
him
up and you
in the area, and I was just I don't think he's I understand that he's popular, but I would never see.
It was less stories about community, or fewer stories about community than I'd hoped.
Speaking of community, wasn't Donald Glover a?
Yeah. Oh my god.
I'm a huge Donald Glover fan.
I love I know he's gone on to much better things, but I really was sad when he left Community.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. He's I just started listening to Childish Gambino, which is his rap alter ego, and I never really liked it until I started looking into more of it, and I was just he's doing this too. I like this.
Yeah, he's
And
touring.
Yeah, Atlanta, the whole show. That's one of my favorite shows right now. I'm just like, that's really good.
He says he's retiring the Childish Gambino persona
Oh, is he?
after this tour.
Really?
Yeah, he's going to be in Philly in September.
I would not.
Yes, and
I don't know if
before
I
he
would pay to see
vanishes.
him just yet.
Social media is like really into telling me what Donald Glover happens to be doing that day.
Yes. Really care about these things.
I get happy when social media tells me certain things because I'm just like, oh, sweet, I want to go to that. Like, it told me when Bon Jovi was coming to concert, bought tickets for that. Told me when Cat Williams was going to Atlantic City, I wanted to go to that. I didn't buy tickets for that. I feel like there's more, but those are the two that I didn't think off the top of my head. But
Yeah, I kind of wish I got tickets to Weird Al.
Oh, really?
The
Yeah.
Weird
The
Al
self-indulgent tour?
self-indulgent tour.
When is that in?
I think I think we missed it.
Just missed it.
Yeah, and I have friends that are going to the one in New York, but yeah, him not doing any parodies and just kind of chilling out and doing an unplugged set. I bet that's really fun.
Yeah, just like what he wants to do.
Right.
I bet everyone just wants him to do the Hamilton thing now.
Oh, 100%. I also wish that I could get all the comedians that are not known for stand-up, like actual stand-up, and make them do straight stand-up. Like, wouldn't you love to see, like, a super serious stand-up show, and it's Weird Al, Carrot Top, and Gallagher? And they're like, yeah, no props, no music. They're going to do stand-up comedy. It's like, oh, my God.
So you think this
I
should
need
be
to be there.
either the best thing ever or the worst thing ever?
Yeah, I mean, if it's a train wreck, I would totally just...
You would be there just
Yep.
for the moment, like, this is horrible.
Because there was a movie. Oh, thank you for reminding me about this movie. I've been trying to hunt it down. It's
Me?
called... Yes.
Oh, okay.
It's
You're
you
welcome. I don't-
inadvertently
I don't know. Okay, I
reminded
was
me.
about to say, I don't know
It's
what I
called
reminded
No Joke,
you.
and it's the story of 3 really bad open mic comics who get to go on a tour, and
Nice.
at the end they audition at the Comedy Store.
Mm.
And it's basically these guys who are like, I deserve a chance. I'm really funny. It's just I can't get in front of good crowds.
Right.
And I was like, man, I
Oh.
bet this is the best documentary ever. I'm going to have to get on Facebook and ask this guy for it. Because he was like, we're trying to get a deal with Netflix, but I don't think it ever happened.
Yeah,
so
that's not
I just want him to
That
send me a
sounds-
copy of it because
There's a
I
lot
want to
more-
enjoy it.
There's a lot more, like, stand-up comedy-related documentaries and shows and stuff on
Yeah.
cable and Netflix and whatnot now.
Yeah, I like that stuff a lot. It's super fun.
Some of the stuff I don't watch just because I'm not interested in the people that are in it. Like, I think there's one on Netflix called The Stand-Ups.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't given that a chance.
Yeah, I was like, I don't like any of these people. I don't think it's on my
Yeah,
list.
I don't
but
care
know if-
for it.
I don't know if I'm ever gonna watch it. I'll more likely to watch the actual specials.
Yeah,
Like the
exactly.
Chris Rock one was the last one that I saw, which was amazing.
hmm Yeah, I got to give that the Tamborine.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I got to give that one a
So
try.
good.
What are you reading, James? You reading anything good?
No, I never do.
Okay, we will move on.
The only
You
thing
listen
that-
to any podcast?
the
We
only-
also accept
oh,
a
yeah.
podcast.
I listen to a lot of podcasts.
What podcast you listen to? We pretend it's an audiobook.
I got into Miguel Dalmouse.
Oh,
American
yes.
Immigrant. That's really good.
We've been trying to have him on this show.
I'm
for
trying to get on it. He
weeks.
told me that he is interested in having me, so I'm looking forward to.
Oh,
possibly
he's
being
never
on
said that to me. But I invited him on my podcast and he canceled twice.
Maybe he just feels sorry for me, so I'm in a wheelchair.
Probably.
So, I mean, if you want to sacrifice
Taking
the
a
use
drink.
of working lights,
Well, since I can't get Miguel on to talk about his podcast, how is that podcast?
I listened to one of his episodes and it was interesting. I
What a review.
No, I mean I'm going to go into it more, but it was interesting. He was speaking to, damn, I'm gonna sound horrible, so I'm not gonna remember his name, but it was an Irish dude, and they were talking. Like one of the things that I remember they were talking about, which I thought was really relatable, was like how people who do comedy like all the time, like every night, you know, week by week and stuff like that, forget how to be a person.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, and like, because Miguel, I think, was saying how he does comedy full time.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, like I could see even like, you know, doing like what most people do is having a full-time job and then doing comedy at night is
Mhm.
difficult. Like,
Yes, it is.
because I remember,
I'm
you know,
exhausted.
years ago, I remember talking to the people there and they're like, yeah, this is what you got to do. And I'm just like, that's what you guys got to do. I'm not doing all of that. Like I have, you know, a reason why I don't do it every night. So most of the places aren't accessible. But like,
Yeah.
if you actually do it full time, it's like, yeah, you probably turn into a robot.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean,
We're a
when you're
horrible
in
person.
the car, like when we go to a convention, if we're driving someone who's not part of the group, like it becomes this weird thing of like 3 comedians and then
Mhm.
like an actual human being.
hmm
Right.
So you have these
Yeah,
like
nice.
everyone's doing bits or trying bits or
Right.
like yes anding or coming up with like these elaborate running jokes, and then you have one person who's just like, I just wanted to talk about my day. Like,
yeah.
I'm having problems.
That's why most of my friends that I, talk to need to think that I'm funny and I'm not a like horrible person, because a lot of my jokes can come across like I'm a horrible person that's just trying to make you feel sorry for me. Like, and sometimes that is true, but like it's meant to be funny, not like
Yeah, I
I'm
hear
trying
you.
to get sympathy all the time.
I find that like when you get a bunch of comedians together, there's kind of this weird rule that the person who laughs loses, because you're always just bouncing off of each other as much as possible. But once you laugh, the joke is kind of over. So whenever you insert someone who's not in that world, like a normal human with emotions,
Right.
they just feel like, I'm trying to be funny and none of these people are laughing, but I'm always laughing
Right.
because I still have emotions and
Right.
I'm not made of aluminum.
Whenever I would go to a mic beforehand, when there's that moment where you're all talking,
Yeah.
I'm never one of the people that is talking. I'm always just one of the people that is listening to everything. And part of me feels like, oh, I wish I was a part of these, this group. I feel like I'm back in high school where all the cool kids are talking and I have no part of this. But then another part of me is just like, I'm just enjoying listening to you guys.
Yeah, all the cool kids are now broken people.
Yeah.
Right. Aren't we all broken?
Yeah, or we're just drowning our sadnesses.
Took a very depressing turn.
Yes, it did.
Oh,
God.
I'm dead.
All right, good.
Yeah.
Laura, you read anything good?
I started Song of the Spider-Man,
The Song of the Spiderman.
which is it's a book about the making of the Broadway musical Spider-Man Turn Off the Dark. Oh my god. It is the I want to find it. I'm sure it's somewhere unreputable, but like the original, it ran in previews briefly, closed for like a month or so, and went into previews, and then it was in previews for a really long time.
Right.
Because technically critics are not supposed to come till opening night. So like they were just gonna try to run in previews forever.
Right.
Like it's just the most interesting thing.
That's
of,
why
like,
there was no critics.
like it's so crazy, and like apparently the original villain was like a Spider Woman named Arachne, and she had like spider minions, and they had an entire song about shoes where they like ransack a shoe store.
Damn.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, I love this
Bono.
stuff. Like one of my
Bono,
favorite.
what are you doing?
No, it's Julie Taymor, the director, who was crazy.
Oh, okay.
But I one of my favorite books is a book called Not Since Carrie, which is about Broadway flops. So like this stuff is so interesting to me. Of like, who let this happen? Who thought this was a good idea?
I don't think that I could get into. If I read a book, it would have to be probably like an auto. The last book that I've actually read was Chris Jericho's autobiography. I forget which one.
Which one? He's got like 8.
Yeah, it was.
There's a Lionheart Stories, the first one.
Okay, if you know all of them, you'll say it eventually.
How to become WWE champion in like 500,000 steps. The third one is the best in the world at what I have no idea.
Right.
And then the fourth one is no is a 4-letter word.
Right, and then he's done a new one. This came out, right?
That's the new one.
Okay.
No is a 4-letter word.
So then it was the second one you said.
It's the how to become WWE champion. Undisputed, bag. I think it's what it's called.
I think it's in my bag actually, but we'll just go
Chris
with that.
Jericho is one of my favorite authors. I will just say that his writing style is great.
He's one of the in the wrestling world. He's one of the most talented people.
100%.
He almost hit me with a car.
He almost hit Laura with a car once.
Really?
Yeah.
I want to hear this story.
No, we were in Wawa, and I'm putting gas in my car, and like somebody's backing into my car, so I laid on the horn,
Right.
and then Chris Jericho shoves his head out the window and goes, "Sorry!" And like I just stared, and like I like didn't click, and then he pulls away, and I turned no, and I was like, "Is that Chris Jericho? I think that's Chris Jericho."
Chris
and Noah's
Jericho.
like, "Yeah."
I would have thought
Chris
it would
Jericho.
be more cooler.
And then Noah's like, "We should have let him hit you."
Yeah.
I was like,
We've
"No."
gotten his information.
Yeah, did his information. I would have thought it would have been more cool if he'd like cursed you out. I would have like, he cursed me out.
Stupid
yes.
idiot.
He taught a promo.
I mean, he
on
was
me.
super wrong. Like he was gonna back into my stationary vehicle.
He would have been so upset if he hit us, because he'd know that like he'd have to get out and talk to us, and we would have jumped out in our matching Dolph Ziggler t-shirts.
I forgot that.
Like, Chris Jericho. He's just, oh no.
Not the people whose car I want to hit right
Oh,
now.
why couldn't I have hurt strangers? Not fans.
Wrestling fans, damn it. That was a horrible Chris Jericho impression.
Yeah, that was almost Vince McMahon.
Yeah. At one point, I was playing GTA with my friends, and I laughed like they said "Broken Matt Hardy." I was like, "Yes, I thought I sounded that way too."
So, Houlihan, what you reading?
Yeah, I think we're getting a little tight on time, but I read I Am Groot, the Groot spinoff. Terrible. Could not get into it. Because here's how you write Groot. Groot says, I am Groot. And then he the person responds in a way where you get context, where it's like, what are you scared about? Just get in there. So obviously Groot said, I am scared. What this was is, I am Groot, and then someone repeating exactly what he said in English. Like, I am Groot. Oh, so you're looking for your friends who left you out. It's like, oh. So, like, it's just, like, everything was redundant. There was way too many words per page. And like, I know that sounds like I'm an idiot, but it's a comic book. Like, there shouldn't be paragraphs per panel.
Right.
So I got, like, halfway through it, and it was just the same bit over and over again of, I am Groot, I don't understand you. Here's someone who can translate.
I actually have to read this comic book. Oh.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why I don't read, because I don't
You shouldn't.
like
It's
to read.
annoying. So I didn't care for it. The reason I like the Guardians of the Galaxy is I like all of them together. One is not as good as the collective whole.
I think I originally wanted to see it as a Batista.
And Batista is great.
Mm-hmm.
Yay,
and then I was
yay,
like, oh, this
Batista.
is actually a really good movie. Okay, cool.
Yes. That's why I have to see Blade Runner, because he's in Blade Runner.
Right. I want to see the John Cena one, the Blockers.
Blockers?
Yeah,
Blockers looks good.
That looks
like a film.
Yep.
So, James, you playing anything good before we move on?
Music-wise?
No, video game-wise.
Oh, sorry.
Game-wise.
I only play sports video games. I've been playing. What'd you say?
Boo.
Yeah, I've been playing GTA
Boo
more.
to that. The fifth one?
Yeah, the most recent one. I want to do a video because my PS4 name is just crippled 9291.
Oh, I'd friend you, but I don't want to say that word.
And, I'm allowed to, I guess.
I'm not.
And I thought it would be funny. I don't know if I'd be able to do like a 2 or 3 minute video about it, but I thought it would be funny if I just did a video about how like I would kill people in GTA for the video, and people would just be like, "Who was that? Damn cripple!" Like, I thought that would be funny.
Record the people yelling at you.
Right.
Yeah.
Or like, set it up where like I'd film them actually playing, from their point of view, and yeah, I think that would be funny. But
Yeah.
That would be funny. So a lot of GTA, a lot of sports games.
Mhm.
You playing like Madden? Or you playing like WWE?
Basketball. So NBA 2K. And what's the other one? Mostly just that in GTA right now.
Yeah. I can't get into the basketball games. The best
You're
game
not
was
a
NBA
sports
Jam.
fan.
I like NBA Jam.
You're not a
I want to
sports
be on
fan.
fire.
So
You're
why
right.
would
I'm
be-
not.
If you were, I was like, I'd be like, wow. Do you don't like sports, but you like the games? That's weird.
Yeah.
I played a lot of NBA Jam, and I played a lot of Looney Tunes B-Ball out on the streets. This game was great for the Super Nintendo.
The prequel for Space Jam.
The prequel to Space Jam.
NBA Street was probably my favorite.
NBA Street's a good game too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it wacky.
Yeah,
It's a video
wacky.
game. Like
Right.
I want to do flips when I do a
Right.
slam dunk.
Yeah, like throw it like 50 feet in the air off the wall, jump.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's fun.
arcade style.
Yeah, make it a video game. Make it a game. So I think we got 10 minutes left in the show. All right, 10 minutes. Laura, you playing anything? I'll skip my turn. If
I
you
took
have
the
it.
Jeopardy Online test.
Oh right, you took
Yeah.
the Jeopardy Online test.
Yeah. There were a couple things that like were really like you find out where your blind spots of like where you don't know things are. Geography. Turns out I don't know any geography.
So is it basically you just play Jeopardy?
It's kind of like a rapid fire version of Jeopardy where like you get 50 questions and you get like 5 seconds to type out each answer
Okay.
because they don't want you to be able to like Google it in time.
Right. So my friend told me about this app called HQ.
That is actually what I was going to be
Okay.
playing.
I was
Yeah.
about to say, all right, go ahead. You should describe it then, since that was going to be your turn.
HQ is a game show that you play on your phone and you can win actual money.
Right.
My name is TV's Noah. If you say that I'm the one who suggested you, I get an extra life. So TV's Noah, sign up for HQ.
I didn't know that. I should have explained it now, so I should have done that plug. But
No, I jumped in and took it.
one of us
But
should
yeah.
jump.
It's every day they give away $2,500, And then on
Right.
Sundays they give away $25,000.
How far have you gotten? Have you ever
I've
won
gotten to
anything?
question 9.
Out of
12.
12? Okay.
And that was like yesterday.
I got really far. There's a couple blind guesses, and like towards the end, it gets a little bit unfair in my opinion.
It's just ridiculously hard.
Because it's 10 seconds and it's too many steps. Because it was like one of the questions I remember they asked was, how many letters are in the title of the longest titled Best Picture, Oscar Best Picture? So you have to know what the longest title is.
You have to understand what they're asking.
Yeah. And then count the letters.
Right.
In
like 3
10 seconds.
Right.
That seems
That's
like you
crazy.
would just blind guess and hope for the best.
Yeah, that's
You guess like the middle answer.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
So I was trying to I thought it was cool the app that he told me about it, but the way that my friend told me about it was we went to see Bert Kreischer at
Bert's great.
at Stress, right? Yeah, and my friend was the one who told me about Bert, and I got into Bert.
Mm-hmm.
And we planned it out for a really long time. We were super excited to go, and then we got there late because we were watching the Eagles game on our phone.
Right.
And then we're in there and we're watching it, and he's on his phone playing the game the whole time, and I'm just like, we've been talking
Let me
about
tell you,
this
I
for so
got the
long.
notification a moment ago that it was about to go live, and I was
Right.
like,
Every time it goes, yeah, I'm
it
just
could be
like-
tonight's game.
That's why I left my phone over in my book bag over there.
I download apps that just sit on my phone forever that I never use.
Yes, Mario Run never gets touched.
Right. Yeah, I should have played that to prepare for the pre-show.
Yeah,
If I
exactly.
knew that we were going to be doing that.
Exactly. Yeah, if you watched my show, you would have known.
Have
But it's game time.
I watched over a year.
Give me
Yes.
game time.
Yeah. It's time for host versus guest versus audience. This week I got this cool Sonic wallet. Sonic getting hit by a piranha and
I
dropping.
remember I did so bad at this last time.
And what did you bring?
I brought this. So this used to be a 76ers. Oh, sorry. This used to be a 76ers
Ow.
flashlight, but the sticker fell off.
So now it's just a light.
the blue light.
Now it's generic blue light.
Yeah, pretty much.
Excellent.
That I blinded
Excellent.
you with.
Oh, ow.
So we're poorly attended. Who brought stuff? Oh my God, producer Jesse, you're dressed for camera.
Fancy producer, Jesse.
Why don't you come up here?
Come on down.
And to the chat, who wants to become a stand-up comedian, try it. Find an open mic. It's worth it. It's worth your time. Shout outs to the
move.
chat.
Do I need to
Chat
move?
is super active.
Good. Okay.
We should have played with the chat, but it's fine. Jesse, thank you so much for coming up here, producer Jesse.
Oh, wait, it was already
Yeah,
on?
turn it on.
No?
There you go. You're good.
It is on now?
You're good. It's okay. I know you're not by the computer where you usually are, but
Yeah, I can't hear or see.
Live.
so we're gonna get a quick round of Google Feud in. Do you remember what we played last time, James?
No idea.
Oh,
No idea.
I thought you meant the last actual podcast.
No. It was the last time I had James on. I'm gonna give you part of a Google search.
Oh God.
I have the top. You can look at my phone. It's not there.
Okay.
Oh.
I'm gonna give you. We have the top 10 auto completes to it.
I was trying to be honest.
I appreciate
So
it.
this is like Family Feud time.
It's like Family Feud. It's
Cool.
Google Feud.
Google Feud.
So everyone will get a chance to answer every question. Whoever has the most points at the end wins. Why? I like this one. We're starting out strong. Why did they cancel? What's the rest of that autocomplete,
Who are we
Laura?
starting
We're
with?
starting with you, Laura.
Firefly.
I knew she was going there.
Firefly.
Because I could see like a teenager now being like, everyone loves this show. I don't know why it got canceled.
That's not on there.
Oh my god.
That's not on there. Unless it's 2 words, it was not on there.
Or spell-
James, why did they cancel?
Breaking Bad.
I think it ended, but bad. Not on there.
Oh,
Jesse.
Alcatraz.
the prison.
Yeah,
It was a
Prison's
show.
canceled.
No.
Was a show.
We canceled Prison.
I'm pretty sure I spelled it wrong, but it is not on there.
ALC.
Here we go. Why did they cancel Twisted,
Uh,
Moesha, Duck Dynasty?
Oh, I know why that happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
There's a story there.
is this going from most popular to least?
This I'm
Yeah.
I'm going up the list. Yeah. Finding Carter. Number 6, Lie to Me. Number 5 is Vine, which I think is pretty good.
Oh, I remember
Huh.
Vine.
4 is Castle. 3 is Limitless. 2 is SpongeBob. which
They
I
didn't.
I don't
They
think that's
canceled that, I
true.
didn't
I don't
No,
think they
it's still
did.
running. It's almost 20 years old now.
Right.
Ugh. And number 1 is Mike and Molly. Why did they cancel Mike and
I
Molly?
did not realize this many people wanted to know about the cancellation of Mike and Molly.
I've never seen, I think, any of them except SpongeBob.
That's why none of us cared that any of them are
Yeah,
gone.
nobody knew.
I mean,
Nobody knew.
Mike and Molly got canceled because Melissa McCarthy got a
Futurama,
career,
good
and was
guess.
like,
Good guess
Right.
from the chat.
I could leave and do movies.
And the other guy, Billy Dardell, just does stand-up still.
So, we're going to start with you, James.
Oh.
And it's simply, this is the best thing that could have come up, Muppet.
No.
And in simply, can you repeat the phrase?
Muppet.
Oh, just
It's
Muppet.
just the word
Just Muppet.
Muppet.
Oh gosh. Muppet.
Muppet.
Tears? Muppeteers? No.
Muppet
Oh,
tears?
that's horrible. That's a horrible guess.
Like the word tears? Like
No,
crying?
No, I meant
Like somebody misspelled Muppeteer?
No, like
No,
the
like
person.
tears.
I know,
on the
but
end
they
of it,
spelled
yeah.
it wrong and they just were like Muppet
right.
tears.
Yeah,
Sad
sure.
Muppet.
Let's go with that. 'Cause I can't think of anything else.
All right. Tears. Tears. Hey, it's not on there.
Oh, surprise, surprise.
Jesse?
I don't know if I want to bring up something from podcast past, so I'm not going to talk about that one. I'm just going to go show.
Show. Muppet Show is number 8. Laura.
Muppet Reboot.
Reboot. Muppet Reboot, not on there.
Oh, they're rebooting it again.
Maybe this was on the show already. Muppet Chef.
Bork, bork,
Muppet-
bork, bork, bork.
The chat knew it. Muppet Eagle.
Yep,
And
that's
then
what I was looking for.
Muppet Show is number 8, so that's 3,000 points for Jesse. Muppet Band, Muppet Movie, Muppet Christmas Carol, Muppet
Yay!
Christmas. Number 3, Muppet Necking.
Mm-hmm.
Good job,
that's-
chat. Points to you. The chat now has 8,000 points. And Muppet Characters and Muppet Babies. Number 1 is Muppet Babies.
I thought
Oh.
Muppet Babies, and I put
You
it
know
aside
that
for
just got
show.
they're rebooting Muppet Babies.
We're not
Hey,
under pressure.
No, they really are.
It was either Babies or show. I figured.
So
show was more
0
popular.
points for Laura, 0 points for James, 3,000 points for Jesse, and 8,000 for the chat.
Do we have to mail this stuff to
We
the
might
chat?
have to mail stuff in.
We're gonna have to divide them.
Yeah,
up
you
equally.
brought up NHL 2011. That's actually a pretty good price. Just wanted to bring that up. Jesse, we're starting with you. I'm too fat to. I'm
No.
too fat.
Yeah, I know this is something that totally gets me on a
Two.
daily basis.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm too fat to
tie my shoes.
tie my shoes. Not on there.
That's bullshit.
Laura?
Fly. Ain't
Ah.
no wings on a pachyderm. You're too fat to fly.
Not on there.
Oh,
Not on there. James?
Fit in a suit.
Fit in a suit.
gotta see Omar.
Not
No, we failed. at this
on
entirely.
there.
Oh, I hope chat doesn't get this again. I can see it from here.
Chat with the number 10 answer with wipe.
Damn.
Uh,
That's fat.
Number 9, ride my boyfriend.
Mm.
8 is transition.
Huh?
Transition.
Like a gender transition.
That's what I was
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
7 is eat. 6 is be a hipster.
thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah,
5 is work out. 4 is walk. Oh.
Damn, I should have
Okay.
said that.
Yeah.
That's my answer to everything. Like,
3 is be loved.
Oh,
Oh, that's deep.
2 is run. And number 1 is I'm too fat to get a girlfriend.
A
oh.
lot of these are lonely people searching on
These are
Google.
like sad.
Yeah.
Got too real.
That's another 1,000 points. That means with 9,000 points, the chat wins.
Oh man.
Here's this wallet, chat. No, Jesse wins. Jesse wins with 3,000 points.
Yay.
You get a wallet and a flashlight.
All right.
Yay.
big winner. I needed to keep your game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Pass
sir.
that down.
A winner
Jesse,
is
thank you so much for coming up here. Anything you want to plug before you get out of here?
The In Your Head podcast.
There you go.
Check that out when you're not watching Noah's. Thanks,
Thank
guys.
you so much.
And my channel.
You get your own time.
Oh, my fault. I forgot.
James, we got to get out of here. Anything you
Okay.
want to plug?
My YouTube channel, I'm just James. I think the URL is not that. It's like 77737, because I don't know how to change it. Back before I actually cared about what was on my channel. My Instagram, you can check it out. You can see little clips of my YouTube channel. I don't remember what my handle is. That's why I have to look it up. And
Okay.
that is James_Howley91. And yes, that's all I need to plug. You can look me up on Facebook. Probably won't add you if I don't know you. That's the way I do on
But
Facebook.
you can stalk him in there if
You
you
can
want.
follow me on Instagram. I'm always up for
You
more
can
followers
try.
and subscribers.
Laura, anything to add?
I believe we have. Are you doing the show dates beforehand?
No, show dates go beforehand, so
Okay.
you don't need to do that. It's just something to add.
All right. You can follow me on Twitter at Priorities and on Instagram at Pretty Nerdy Things.
Be sure to give us 5 stars on iTunes, 5 stars on Stitcher, vote for us on podcastland.com. Make us the podcast of the month. You can also watch us on Spotify. Listen to us on Spotify, Wildfire Radio. You can also watch us on YouTube. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And you can watch us live on Twitch like Derpy Minion is doing right now every Thursday at 8 o'clock. So be sure to jump in, join the conversation. It's a lot of fun. Upcoming shows include, guys, I got big news about upcoming shows that are coming up. Today is the 15th. The 22nd, to be announced. We don't know yet.
Supposed to be me.
It was supposed to be James, and we moved him up. So to be announced. The 29th, it's the creator of the new card game, Drive Fighter, maybe Drive Attack. I'm sorry. But it's on Kickstarter right now. Links below and all that other stuff. And then, April 5th, Jai, the inventor of the buttress.
You got the buttress guy?
The brand new butt pillow will be on
As
this
seen
show.
on the Joel McHale show with Joel McHale.
As seen on the Joel McHale show. He will be on this show talking about the buttress. So be sure to come for that show.
I
on the
100%
5th
thought you were
of
joking
April.
when you said you were going to try
I
to book
booked
him.
the buttress guy. It's official. It's happening. I'm very excited.
It's actually really awesome. I'm super
Thank
excited.
you to Net Neutrality
Sounds
for
interesting.
making the show possible. This is the Plus 2 Comedy Podcast. Thank you guys so much.
Okay, bye.